And this series is really so that people don't diminish at best their destiny, or at worst just get into bitterness and unbelief and anger and reaction and self-preservation and run off under the pressure and just destroy their destiny. You see, we're talking about a people that when you understand the purpose of enduring hardships, you stay faithful to the purposes of God. Can you say amen? All right. How many of you can actually say amen? Is it possible? Okay. All right. And today I want to talk about the big picture God. The big picture of God. God is painting His purposes on a canvas the size of the universe. But most of us look at life at Kodak moments. We define life by a 4 by 5 inch or centimeter picture, a snapshot of our life. And some of those snapshots don't make any sense to us. Some of them have just darkness in them. Some of them have injustice in them. Some of them have false accusation in them. Some of them have pain. Some of them have pleasure. But they don't seem to connect. But what we've got to understand is there's a God who's not painting His eternal purposes by the dimension of our little snapshots. He's painting on a canvas as big as the universe, and He can comprehend everything simultaneously that's happening, and He's working it together for the good for those that love Him and are called according to His purpose. Can you say amen? And so God is committed to 3 things. We spoke about this on Thursday night. He's committed to 3 things. He's not committed to anything else. Any detail falls into these 3 categories. Number 1, He's committed to His own glory. He's committed to His own honor. He's committed to His name. He's committed to His magnificence. God isn't on a big ego trip. He just is God. He's uncreated, self-sufficient, self-existent God. And He is into displaying His glory in the earth. Can you say amen? Number 2, God is committed to seeing people saved. Now we know that, but I don't know if we really understand the degree to which God is committed to people being saved. If you think that He's not that committed and that He wouldn't put you and I through difficult times if the end result resulted in people being saved, we need to have a good look at the cross again. The Son of God was put through the ultimate difficult time because He wants to see people saved. Can you say amen? Even if it meant in the process you died for your faith, a martyr. Not because you're obsessed with death and you're depressed and you want to die. No, you are so intoxicated with the ecstasy of this God that you just get carried away in the drunkenness of the Spirit and boldly say things in places that people wouldn't want you to say it, and they may kill you like they did to Stephen. And when Stephen died, God touched a man by the name of Saul, who later encountered God on the Damascus Road, and Stephen's death led to millions down through the centuries being saved through Paul's writing of the New Testament. Can you say amen? If you die for the cause of Christ and you wake up in heaven, you won't say, "Oh God, I thought you loved me. Why did you bring me here so early?" No, you'll say, "Oh my God, this is awesome. Hello, Gabriel. Hello, hey, Jesus. Woohoo!" And God said, "You want to go back?" No ways. But you just got that promotion at work. You just got that brand new car. What is a car compared to this, oh God? Okay, and by the way, son or daughter, because of your courage in those last few months, these people on the staff, these people in your business, they've given their life to Jesus Christ. Can you say amen? Yeah. He's committed to people being saved. Thirdly, He's committed to His church. He's committed to His people. He's committed to you. And we've got to understand that God's committed to His church. Because ultimately, all of creation came into being to produce one thing and one thing only, was to produce an eternal bride for the bridegroom, Jesus Christ. All economies, political systems exist to facilitate one thing, the producing of a mature, beautiful bride that Jesus Himself sanctifies and gets her ready for the wedding feast that is coming at the end of the age. Can you say amen? And so Jesus said, "I'll build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it." Peter says, and Paul says, the church is living stones fitly joined together. Say the word joined. Joined together. Living stones that create friction and rub up and cause conflict with each other, but they are joined together so that they can produce a habitation of God. Amen? That's what it's all about. It's being joined. Paul speaks in Ephesians 4 that we come to the full measure of the stature of Christ, that we be no longer like infants, tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine and teaching, but we grow up and we mature, and that we connect and we be ligaments of love, building each other up. Can you say amen and amen and amen? You see, if the devil wants to do anything, it's oppose those three things: God's magnificence, God's fame, God's honor, His name, His commitment to see people saved, and thirdly, His commitment to produce in the earth a church fitly joined together. All right? Local churches where people are joined together and are connected through apostolic ministry across the earth. Can you say amen? Now, if you get disjointed or ripped away from the church, it means you're disjointed. You are dislocating yourself from your destiny. I cannot fulfill my destiny except in certain connections and relationships with people that sometimes it's hard to understand them and they don't understand me. But I just know if I divorce, disconnect, and get disjointed from destiny relationships, then I'm fighting against one of the big things that God is connected to. Can you say amen? That's why if you find people all over the earth that are disjointed and disconnected from local church life, listen, friends, we need to encourage them. Get involved with local church. If they've been involved with toxic, legalistic, abusive churches, then we need to tell them there are grace churches around the world. We've got lists of addresses around the world now of many, many churches that on our website listening to us, reporting in by email regularly, and we are directing people to them because we get people saying, I'm in this nation. Are there any grace churches here? And we need to help them see there are grace churches. But let me just say this. You need to also be wise that you don't get distracted. Because there are grace churches, and then there are some people who come into those grace churches with an agenda of control or an agenda to own or possess or be something out of a selfish ambition. And because those churches are not toxic, but they are grace-inspired churches, there are leaders and there are people there full of enough grace and wisdom not to come under manipulation. They love people, but they won't be Jezebeled and they won't be witchcraft because they know we must protect God's people to stay innocent, connected, and joined. Can you say amen? So be careful when you're trying to help people that have been disjointed. Try to discern, is it because they're a part of a toxic church, or is it because they were toxic and went to a grace church and tried to bring toxic problems to that church, and they couldn't get their own way, so they threw a fit and started sulking. Be careful with those people. Don't push them to churches. Amen. Just leave them alone. But people that are broken, they're humble, they can't understand, they love God, they don't know why. They were humble people. Man, you've got to get them back into the life of the church. If people aren't in the life of a church, join. They are fighting against one of the big commitments of God. Can you say amen? Have you got Genesis 50 yet? You see, if you do not see your life in the big picture of God, and you continue just to see your life in little snapshots, you will be confused. And why are you allowing this, God? And why are you letting me be treated this way? But when you see it's God's three commitments, you will be faithful. Now, I want to read...
Please also visit our online sermon archive if you haven't already at www.citychurchinternational.net. You can get almost all of our Sunday messages and more for free since the start of City Church in July 2004. To purchase books by Rob Rufus, myself and others, as well as worship albums, then please visit www.newnaturepublications.com. We are very excited about the products at our online bookstore and believe they can and already are transforming the lives of many around the earth through the power of His grace. You can find Rob's new book there called Invading the Impossible, which is a radical book that Dad says contains sacred, sanctified and supernatural faith steroids that will give you unfair advantages in life. You can also get a couple of my books there. Firstly, Do Christians Still Have a Sinful Nature? As you discover the clear biblical truth that you no longer have a sinful nature, then you'll discover that grace is not dangerous, but actually completely empowering to the new creation believer. And also my latest book called Sanctification by Grace, which redefines and redeems what biblical sanctification is. We have Bonnie's new outstanding worship album in the store as well, which Joshua Mills says about it, "I love Bonnie's worship, and you will too, as these songs and sounds come directly from the throne of heaven." Get all these grace resources with many more to come at newnaturepublications.com.